If you have pets in your life that have issues within the back or the hindquarters, anything from degenerative disc disease to ACL surgery or anything in the back or the hind leg, you need this acupressure point in your life. Maybe you're an animal professional who is trying to help animals to move well, to learn well, who knows? You're helping those animals so that they can thrive and live a great life. Or maybe you are just an animal lover who wants to help the animals at home with pro-level solutions. No matter where you fall into those categories, it doesn't matter. This point is for you, and I'm going to tell you all about it in our video today. But make sure that you stick around until the end, because I'm going to be sharing a special tip at the end to show you how to use this point for even better results than you can imagine. In case you're new around here, I'm Susan Tenney of Elemental Acupressure, and I've been sharing points like the one we're talking about today for the past 30 years for people across the globe. We have helped animals who are rescues and family dogs, as well as elite level performers like the United States Equestrian Team and the Swiss Equestrian Team. So we know that these techniques, and this point in particular, works beautifully. But it's not because I have some special exotic skill. These are skills that absolutely any person can learn, whether you're an animal professional who wants to expand your toolbox, or maybe you are an animal lover who wants to use pro-level solutions for your animals at home. Either way, we've got you covered, because we know that this point is a point that is not only teachable and learnable, animals love it. With all of the animals in our lives that need help with back and hind leg issues, we need points that really directly address those concerns. And I've got to say, this might be my absolute favorite point for back and hind end issues. In fact, I love it so much that I get to use it absolutely every single day. And that's because my cat, who, needs a little support in that hind end, I have what we call lap time every single morning. That cat will come up into my lap, even though originally he was not much of a lap cat, because when I put my hand on this point, he just loves it. That is his favorite part of the day. Maybe next to the dinner time. But the point is, he actually demands this point from me because he knows it makes him feel better. And if I can make Panther feel better, of course, I'm going to use it. But I don't only use it for kind of an everyday use like that. It is also incredible to help an animal with any kind of hind end issue. So what is this miraculous point that I'm referring to? This point is Yao Ba Wei, or more or less translated from the Chinese as 100 meetings point, or lower back 100 meetings. Now we've given another name to this point because we think it captures the essence beautifully, and that is power up. We know that power up as a point gives all sorts of power and kind of energy to the hind end. Now, why is that so critical for your pet? The reason it's important is that the hind end of an animal and the back that connects front to back is actually the motor for that animal. If you love to go on long walks with your dog, maybe even climbing up some nearby mountain, you need a healthy hind end for the dog to have the muscle strength and the power to get up that hill, and also to have the good proprioception for going down steep hills. That cat that you have at home also needs a healthy, strong hind end so that they can kind of spring up and reach the high levels of the cat tree. Or maybe you just love to watch your dog run at the dog park or in some big grassy field, and you love to see them just take off and go. But to do that, they need power and strength and body awareness in order to reach those high speed escapades that they go off on. And that is why we want a healthy hind end. And that is something that this point is really going to help with. So what exactly does this point do? What we see is that this point brings both blood and life force energy, we call it chi, to the hind end, including the back. And what that allows is for all of the structures in that part of the body to function better, to have better body awareness. And also, if there's been a problem there, it heals faster. At least that is our experience. We know that when you're actually doing the acupressure in that moment while you're touching the animal and activating that part of their body at the point, the animals are getting that sensory feedback just because you're focusing there. And you can see them kind of taking it all in. They may actually be kind of looking up around you like, what are you doing? I haven't felt that part of my body so acutely or focused on it for a while. But the effects last beyond your acupressure session, which is usually pretty short, anywhere from, a minute to 5 minutes. And it actually will extend those changes biochemically in the body as well as in the energy for even up to 48 hours. And so it has this kind of global effect as well as affecting the back and hindquarters for long after you've stopped touching the point. And it's bringing improved function and body awareness to the entire back and the hind end. So who in particular will really benefit from this point? Well, really any dog, cat, or four-legged animal can benefit from this point, because who doesn't need a healthy and happy back and hindquarters? But there are certain animals that really get extra benefit out of it. So let's take a quick look at that. First of all, any animal who has kind of movement issues in their hindquarters. So we're talking about an animal who is maybe limping a little because there's pain, maybe they've got arthritis or hip dysplasia or something that's actually going on in the back end of their body. And because of that, their movement is somehow compromised. They might be a little stiff, they might be a little pain, influenced by pain. And by doing this point, you actually can relieve pain and encourage the healing activation of the blood and all of the healing properties of the body to get in there and do their work. So any animal who has some level of pain in the back or the hindquarters, of course, you should be working with your vet to get proper medical care, but this point can be part of the whole protocol that you're using to get them back to feeling their best. It can also be really, really good for seniors. If you have worked with senior dogs and cats, you may have seen them start to move a little bit less, maybe move with kind of just being a little more creaky because their bones and the muscles aren't quite as fit and ready to go as they were when they were younger. Now, we also know that when an animal stops moving, their life quality really can decline quickly if they're a senior. So if we keep those animals feeling good and moving well in the hindquarters and the back, you know that their life quality is going to be better. They're going to be more likely to want to go out on that walk, or the cat is going to be more likely to want to play and romp with the younger cat in the household. And that is always a good thing. It helps with the seniors who are kind of maybe not having as good proprioception, maybe they're losing strength in the hind end, or again, if they maybe have some arthritis, maybe your vet is helping with supplements or other kinds of things, but you want to really boost the effects of that senior care. But it's not only for those seniors. What we also see is that the younger pets can really benefit from this point as well. A lot of times, younger animals lack, let's say, a little bit of coordination because maybe their body is growing really quickly, or they just quite haven't figured out how that body works yet. This point, by helping with their proprioception, by helping with their body awareness and motor control, can help that younger animal to develop in a way that is a little more streamlined and help them in those clumsy phases. This is particularly good for those giant breed dogs who really need that extra support so that they can kind of keep up with that speed in which they are growing. But it's not only the seniors and the young animals. We also really want to acknowledge that if there is any animal who at any age has some sort of back issue like degenerative disc disease or back pain of any other kind, as well as any kind of injury or ACL surgery, or really it can be anything in the back or the hind legs, this point is going to help with pain management as well as the whole healing process that your veterinarian has developed a beautiful protocol for, whether there's procedures involved or medications. This can just be part of the package to help that animal feel good and move well in the future. It's part of bringing them back to feeling great and being able to run and jump and play and all those things that we want to see our pets do. So of course, it doesn't work in isolation. It's working together with all of the other care that you were providing, but it can really be a game changer in how those animals move. With a point that is so useful for your pet, it's great that it's also pretty easy to find. The best way to find that point is to head into the description when you're done with this video, because we have an absolutely free PDF that is going to have nice big photos of your dog and your cat and your horse and where that point lies on their body. That way you can just snuggle up with your pet while you're sitting on the couch and you can find that point and activate it really easily. We're also going to have a video for you so you can see it in action as well. These resources are going to make sure that even if you don't know veterinary anatomy or the fancy terms, it just doesn't matter. You're going to be able to find and activate that point for the animals in your care. Once you've found that point, obviously you have to activate it. And the great news about this point is just how easy it is. Literally, all you have to do is to take your palm and place it over the point. Just rest there anywhere from maybe 10 to 60 seconds, longer if your animal is enjoying it. It really is that simple. That's exactly what I do with my cat during lap time, but that 60 seconds is often extended to, oh gosh, sometimes 10, 15 minutes before, yes, he feels full and he kind of shakes a little and he is done and ready to move on with his day. So let your animals just enjoy it for as long as you have time for, because sometimes they really like getting that full activation if you have the time. But even if you just do it for a minute, you will be amazed at how much this point changes their lives if you do it regularly. Now that you know what Power Up can bring to your animal, you know more or less where it is and how to activate it, I know that you're going to want to run off and give this point a try, and I hope you do. But before you go, I wanted to give you that bonus tip that I mentioned in the beginning, because Power Up is way, way more than just a point for the back and the hindquarters. This point has so many uses and functions, I can't list them all right now, but there is one extra function that you do need to know about, and that is the ability of Power Up to act as an activator point. An activator point is the term we give to a point like Power Up that has this ability to kind of extra boost or activate any other point that you do in the session. So let's say that you learn a point for your horse's cough or your dog's skin condition, and you're going to do another point for that, a point that is specifically for whatever that condition is. If you also use Power Up during your acupressure session, it is amazing to see how this point actually activates or empowers or encourages the action of the other points. That means it's a great blending tool to have in your toolbox to help with any condition, whether it's emotional or behavioral, performance related, or health related that your animal may be encountering. So you want to know this point not only for the back and the hindquarters, but because it also boosts the effect of all other acupressure points. Wow, that is such a great thing. Now that you know all about Power Up, we want to get you set up for streamlined success with this point. So make sure that your first stop after watching the video is to head down into the description and get that free PDF. There is going to be all sorts of great tips on the PDF on how to find it and activate it. You're absolutely going to want that so that you can use it with your dogs and your cats as well as horses. So make sure that you get that. But also be on the lookout for more videos in this series. This particular point has so many other wonderful functions and uses. We're going to be doing a whole series on that over time. So keep checking back and making sure you see what else this point has to give you for the reproductive system, the nervous system, the digestive system. Oh my God, it's kind of endless. It's a wonderful, wonderful point. But before you go, make sure you comment below and tell me why you might be using this point for the animal in your life. Maybe you're using it ahead of problems. You just want to keep your animal's back or your animal's hind legs moving great and feeling great for a long time to come. Or maybe you have a senior or an animal getting ready for ACL surgery that you want to make sure that they have that extra support that they need. Whatever it is, tell us in the comments below. We'd really love to hear how you are going to use these amazing points to help your animal to thrive.